Okay, so if you've ever poured hours into a no-code automation, felt that initial thrill when the blocks click together, but then you hit that sort of invisible wall, that one custom thing you need, or maybe an integration that isn't there, and you just feel, well, limited by the tool. You know that frustration, right? Well, what if there's something new, a kind of middle ground, something that bridges that gap between being totally non-technical and, a full stack dev? It's this really interesting skill we're calling vibe coding. And the amazing thing is, vibe coding, it doesn't mean you have to learn all this complex code syntax or spend years studying computer science. Our mission, really, in this deep dive, is to show you how you can use these powerful AI tools to build exactly what you need right when you need it. By the end, you'll get how to turn your automation ideas into actual custom web apps, build interactive tools for your work, and even deploy them online. Think of it like a bypass, right? Getting around the limits of visual tools and into this bigger space of custom creation. Let's jump in. Okay, so let's unpack this core idea first. Every single no-code workflow you build, well, it's actually representing real code underneath. When you drag and drop those blocks, connect things up, the platform itself is writing code, usually JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
To handle all the API calls, the logic.
Exactly. It's like a silent translation happening.
Yeah, like a chef writing down a detailed recipe based on your quick choices. So take a common workflow example. Maybe you watch for new emails in Gmail that have attachments.
Hmm.
Then you want to pull text out of the PDF attachment, maybe use AI to summarize it, and then save that summary into Notion. Visually, it looks neat, just boxes and lines.
Right. But what's really illuminating there is seeing that visual simplicity for what it is. It's an abstraction. It's
Yeah.
not that the complexity isn't there. Behind that neat no-code flow, your system is running, well, a sequence of JavaScript functions. These functions connect to the Gmail API. An API is basically just a standard way for different software to talk and share info.
Okay.
Then it calls maybe an OCR service, it's optical character recognition, to read the PDF text. Then it pings an AI model, like OpenAI's API, gets the summary, and then makes another API call to Notion to save it. So the big shift isn't just knowing what's happening, but recognizing those visual blocks are just a user-friendly layer over real programming instructions.
Okay, that makes sense. So if no code is code in disguise, what's the most maybe surprising part of that connection for someone who always saw them as totally separate things? Like, what doors does really getting that connection unlock?
That's a great question. I think the biggest leap is realizing you're not just clicking blocks together like Lego. You're actually orchestrating code,
Yeah.
just without typing every character. And it's not just about getting more control, though that's part of it. It fundamentally changes your role. You go from being just a user of software features to someone who can create bespoke digital tools. It sort of democratizes development power. Understanding this means practically you can start building custom user interfaces for your automation.
Ah,
You can build tools that aren't stuck with only the functions your no-code platform offers. You can deploy actual standalone apps others can use. You can integrate with services that maybe don't have a pre-built connector yet. It gives you, complete control over the end experience.
wow.
It's like the difference between buying flat pack furniture and actually designing and building your own custom piece.
That level of control really does sound game changing. And you mentioned an easy way to start this vibe coding journey. You said Claude.AI. Tell us about that. You described it as like a programming partner, an AI that writes and runs code in the browser.
Exactly. Claude.ai is probably the most accessible starting point right now. Think of it as, yeah, your smart coding buddy.
So let's test it. A practical example. Say I want a dynamic workout planner web page. I could just tell Claude, maybe, create a workout planner page for me. Needs fields for exercise, sets, reps, an add exercise button that adds it to a list below. And each item in the list needs a delete button. Keep the design simple, modern.
Right. And what Claude does is pretty neat. It gives you this split screen. On the left, you get the code, HTML for structure, CSS for the look, JavaScript for the interactive bits along with explanations. And on the right, there's your app, live and working instantly.
Okay, seeing it live next to the code must make it click faster.
It really does. It connects the output directly to the code, demystifying it in real time. It's not just showing you the result, it's showing you how it got there.
And then this is where the vibe part comes in, I guess, the iteration. So after it builds version 1, I don't just stop. I can talk to it more, right? Like,
Right.
okay, great. Now add a drop down to select a muscle group for each exercise and maybe a print plan button.
Precisely. You have a conversation with it. And Claude will just update the code, add the drop-down, the button, the JavaScript logic needed. It's incredibly responsive.
Like having a super fast developer collaborator.
Kind of, yeah.
Let's think of another one. Maybe a simple marketing tool. Could I ask Claude to create a web page to brainstorm marketing ideas? Needs an input for my project description. A generate ideas button below. When clicked, show me, say, 5 slogans and 3 social media post ideas based on the description.
Absolutely. Claude would build that. You get a simple page, input box, button, JavaScript generating those content ideas, and a place to display them clearly. Useful, right?
Very. And you mentioned it helps you learn, too.
Yeah, that's a huge plus.
Yeah.
It doesn't just give you the code, it explains it. You can literally ask it, hey, I'm new to this. Explain the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript here and how they work together. And it will break it down for you. It's like getting a mini lesson tailored exactly to the thing you just built.
So it's a great starting point, but it must have limits. You said it runs in the browser.
It does, and that's the main constraint.
Hmm.
Because it's browser-based, it's not really suited for super complex, heavy-duty tasks. It can't directly connect to external databases in a persistent way, and the data you generate isn't stored permanently once you close the tab, typically.
Okay.
But honestly, that's fine. That's actually why it's such a good training ground. Think of Claude as your, let's say, sophisticated sandbox. It's where you practice thinking like a programmer, structuring solutions, and crucially, learning how to talk to AI effectively before you tackle bigger projects on more powerful platforms.
Right, so you build confidence, you learn the process.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've done that. You've used Claude, built some cool things in the browser.
All right.
But then, yeah, your ideas get bigger. You do want that database connection, or you want to share your tool with, well, everyone. That's where you said we moved to Replit. You called it a professional workshop.
That's the next logical step, yeah.
Yeah.
If Claude is the friendly helper, Replit is the fully equipped workshop.
So what makes it the step up? What are the key advantages?
Several big ones. First, it's a full development environment, not just in browser, so fewer limitations. It supports lots of programming languages, way beyond just the web basics. And the huge one, real deployment. Your app gets a proper web address, a URL anyone can visit.
Ah, okay. Live on the internet.
Yes. Plus, it supports database integration for storing data properly and offers production-ready hosting. It takes you from experiment to potential real-world application.
Okay, let's walk through an example there too. Maybe something a bit more business-focused, like that customer feedback portal idea. Could I give Replit's AI a prompt like, create a web page for collecting customer feedback. Needs a form. Name, email, feedback type, maybe a dropdown, and a text area for the details. Needs a submit button. Make the design look professional and trustworthy.
You absolutely could. And what Replit's AI will typically do is structure it properly from the start. It will likely generate 3 separate files following best practices. Index.html for the page structure, style.css for the visual design, and script.js for the interactivity, like checking the form is filled out correctly before submission.
Right, separating the concerns, as they say.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which is key for more complex projects.
And then the magic part, getting it online. How easy is that deployment you mentioned?
It's surprisingly straightforward on Replit. Often, you just find the deploy button in your project interface. You'd likely choose something like static deployment for this kind of simple web app. Then it usually gives you a default URL, which you can often customize a bit. You confirm, and that's basically it.
Seriously, that quick.
For static sites,
Yes.
often, a few clicks. And suddenly your app isn't just on your screen, it has a real web address.
Wow.
So connecting that to the bigger picture, your customer feedback portal or whatever tool you built is now live, accessible globally. It's not just a file anymore. It's a working application on the web.
That's a huge leap from just running it locally.
It really is. It opens up so many possibilities.
Okay, so we have the tools Claude for starting, Replit for scaling and deploying. Let's talk concrete applications. How can people use this vibe coding day to day? In business, maybe?
Oh, lots of ways. For business automation, think about things like an invoice data extractor. Imagine a simple web page. Your accounts team uploads a PDF invoice. The tool pulls out the total, the date, the vendor name automatically, saves manual entry time.
Yeah, I can see that being useful.
Or maybe an internal dashboard for project tracking.
Yeah.
A really simple web interface where team members just quickly update task status instead of messing with complicated spreadsheets.
Easier for everyone to use.
Right. Or even a basic landing page generator. Marketing wants to test different headlines. Give them a tool where they just type in the text, pick an image, and boom, simple page ready for A/B testing.
Quick iterations, yeah. And what about for personal stuff? Beyond work,
Just as many possibilities there.
Hmm.
You can build your own personal expense tracker, a private web app just for you, maybe with simple charts.
Finally ditch the spreadsheet.
Exactly. Or a recipe manager. Store your favorites, maybe tag them, search by ingredient, add photos. Or even a trip planner. A dedicated page to organize your itinerary, keep booking confirmations, notes for your next vacation. Things you could do in other tools, but building it yourself makes it perfectly tailored.
Yeah, you build exactly what you need. I've definitely spent hours wrestling with spreadsheets for things like that. Building a custom app in an afternoon sounds way better.
Okay, so we've got the tools, we've got the ideas, but getting good results from AI,
Yeah.
that often comes down to how you ask, right? The communication part.
Absolutely crucial. The quality of your output is directly tied to the clarity and specificity of your input. It's the art of the prompt, essentially.
So vague requests are bad, like just saying make a form.
Yeah, that's too vague. Compare that to create a contact form with fields for name, email, and message. Make all fields required. When the submit button is clicked, show a thank you message. See the difference.
Much clearer. Specific requirements.
Right. And think about the user experience too. Don't just say add a database. Think about why. How can users save their workout plan and see it again next time they visit? That gives the AI context. And style matters too, not just make it look better.
Definitely not. Be specific. Make this page look professional, suitable for a financial consulting firm. Use a dark blue and white color scheme, maybe a minimalist design. Give it context.
More detail equals better results. Makes sense.
And when you're actually building, I always suggest, start small, think big.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
Get the absolute core feature working first, just one thing. Then iterate. Add one small improvement or feature at a time.
Don't try to build the whole massive thing at once.
Exactly. And test constantly.
Uh,
After every small change, make sure it still works. And importantly, take a moment to actually look at the code the AI generated. Try to understand it a little,
why is that part so important?
because it helps you give better instructions next time. If you start to grasp how it's solving the problem, you can ask for things in a way it understands better. It improves your prompting skill over time.
Okay, learn from the output, and what if things go wrong? If the code breaks or the AI misunderstands?
It will happen. Don't panic. First, if it seems confused, try breaking your request down into even smaller steps. Or give it a clear example of what you want. If the code have an error, tell the AI exactly what's happening, the delete button isn't doing anything when I click it, and then ask it to debug or find the error in this code.
Treat it like a collaborator you're troubleshooting with.
Precisely. If it's slow, ask it to optimize the code. Maybe you need smaller images. It's a back-and-forth conversation.
It really does feel like this whole vibe coding idea is blurring lines. The old categories of consumer versus creator of technology, they seem less rigid now.
They really are.
Mhm.
These AI tools are getting so capable so fast, they let us bring ideas to life, even complex ones, much quicker than before.
Yeah.
And remember, vibe coding isn't about becoming a traditional programmer, memorizing syntax rules and complex frameworks. Not necessarily. It's about learning to leverage AI's power to tune your ideas into working reality.
So, quick recap for everyone listening. We've covered how visual no-code tools actually represent real code.
The JavaScript behind the scenes.
We looked at how you can use AI assistants like Claude and Replit to build actual web applications,
Starting simple, then scaling up,
and how to deploy those creations so anyone can use them.
taking them live on the web.
And hopefully you're seeing how you can apply these skills to real problems at work or just for yourself.
That's the goal.
It feels like the future really does belong to people who can communicate effectively with AI to create value. So your journey from maybe being a no-code user to becoming a vibe coder, it really starts now. The big question is, what will you build first?